Helen,
And I'm Liz,
and we're sisters
scientists,
and lifelong X-Files fans.
and this is We Want to Believe. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special episode of We Want to Believe. What makes it special? A number of things. It's just me, Liz. Helen's not here. And why is it just me? Well, look at the episode title. It is called Liz's Shameless Cash Grab. So, you've heard me advertise my book, Mighty Millie Novak, and Helen and I, for scheduling reasons, needed a week off from talking about the X-Files. So today I am going to introduce to you the first two chapters of my YA novel about a socially anxious queer teenage girl on a roller derby team, Mighty Millie Novak. Mighty Millie Novak came out in 2004. It was published by Flux. Flux Books is a small press from Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's a division of North Star Editions, and it was written by me, Elizabeth Holden. So let's jump right in. Chapter 1. Oh, actually, I lied. We're not in the chapter 1 yet. It's just me recording this. I'm just talking to you all. I should mention, if you like hearing books read to you, there is an official audiobook of my book. It is not read by me. It's read by a professional audiobook reader, of which I am not. I am a podcaster slash physics professor slash travel person and roller derby person. Anyway, I don't do voices and all that, but I thought it would be fun for me to read this. The official audiobook was published by Tantor Media in late January of 2025, this year, and it's read by Crystal Hammond, who's read a bunch of other books. So you can get the audiobook, you can get the ebook, you can get a paperback copy, however you like books. You can order that pretty much wherever you'd like. It's in a lot of bookstores, and if it's not in a bookstore, you can certainly order it. So get it wherever you like to buy books. So without further ado, let's get into this. Chapter 1. The next 5 minutes we're going to determine everything about my future. Or at least my future in roller derby, which was all that mattered. I wiped the sweat off my face with the hem of my t-shirt, took one more puff from my inhaler, and skated back onto the track. My muscles were warm from the previous hour of drills and skills, and my mind, well, it was as clear as it was going to be, all things considered. The only thing left, the dreaded 27 in 5. "Get it, Mighty!" Pumpkin shouted from the sidelines. She had already done hers, skating 29 easy laps in 5 minutes, and was now sitting on the edge of the rink, unlacing her skates. I smiled at her weakly, glad for the encouragement, but at the same time wishing she wouldn't watch. The fewer witnesses, the better. I'd gotten the required 27 laps a few times in practice, but that was practice when the pressure was off, and it had always been close. Today it seemed less likely, given my nerves, my exhaustion from the rest of the assessment, and the effort it took to push away thoughts of my parents' announcement this morning. Stork rolled onto the track and lined up behind me. Great. Stork was tall and angular, like her namesake, and her legs devoured the track effortlessly. She would blow past me immediately. The white of Stork's mouthguard flashed as she smiled at me. "Don't be nervous, Mighty." I smiled back half-heartedly, not replying, vaguely offended. In what universe would I not be nervous? If I got even 26 and a half laps, it meant no real roller derby for me, just more time with the skater tots, practicing and hoping and dreaming. "Everybody ready?" The powerful voice of Coach Ann boomed through the rink. I braced my toe stops on the ground and bent my knees, ready to sprint at the whistle blast. I could do this. I didn't need to compete with Stork. Everyone was always talking about her speed, complimenting her, saying what potential she had as a jammer. Wouldn't they all be surprised if it were me, Millie Novak, aka Dynamite, who was the fastest? I could be more than just the goofy one, the comic relief. I could be an actual threat on the track. I could... The whistle blew, startling me. Instead of a perfect sprint on my toe stops to accelerate, I stumbled, slipped, and flung my arms out for balance. Stork smacked into my flailing right arm as she blasted past me, and I tumbled onto my knees. Oh God, there went my chance. I picked myself up as fast as I could, trying not to panic, and started to skate. Before I could even reach the first turn, Stork was coming around again. "Sorry about hitting you," she called over her shoulder as she passed me. Predictably, Anne and our other coach, Cleo, immediately shouted, "No sorries in Derby," in unison at Stork, but I was glad she'd apologized. I'd done the math yesterday. I needed to average 5.4 laps per minute. I kept count in my head, though Anne's count would be my official score. When Cleo called out the end of the first minute, I'd barely done 5 laps. Not enough. I needed to speed up. Despair crept in, and I tried to outskate it. 2 minutes in, my lungs burned, my thighs burned, and I'd only done a little more than 10 laps. Had I used my inhaler before I started? Suddenly I wasn't sure. What if I had an asthma attack right now? What if I nearly collided with Dora Bell, a skinny, wobbly girl with enormous glasses? Sorry, I shouted to Dora. No sorries in Derby, the coaches yelled. 3 minutes down. Sweat dripped from under my helmet and stung my eyes. My legs quivered. Keep doing your crossovers, Mighty, Anne shouted. You need to pick up the pace a little. I crossed right leg over left, again, again, again. My legs trembled. I kept moving. I tried to ignore the fear rattling around in my brain, tried to ignore the sound of Stork's lap counter yelling, 20 laps already? You're crushing it, Stork. Oh, it was hopeless. I'd never wanted anything as badly as I wanted to be an official member of the Prairie Skate Juniors, but how could it happen today, given my speed? Maybe I could beg Anne to let me redo it. Maybe I could even tell her about my morning, that my parents had announced their long-time coming divorce just 2 hours before I hit the rink. How could Anne not take pity on me then? There was a shout from the opposite end of the track. Dora! Anne's voice was high and panicked. Are you okay? I risked a glance to see what had happened. Dora Bell was lying on her back, a few feet off the track. She must have fallen and slid out of bounds. I started coasting to a stop, but Dora raised her arm and gave us a thumbs up, then rolled over and clambered to her feet. Thank God. I didn't want Dora to be seriously hurt, even if, the sneaky, selfish part of my brain noted, the coaches would surely have to call off the 27 and 5, and I'd get a redo another day. I brought my focus back to my laps. I could at least finish with dignity and get as close as I could. With 1 minute left, I was just shy of 21 laps. I wasn't fast enough to get 6 more laps in a minute, but I'd hustle, get the best score I could. 22 laps, Mighty, Anne yelled. Only 5 to go. You can do it. What? She must have counted wrong. I was at 21 with 6 left. But the excitement in her words fueled a new fire in me. And it is at this point that Liz, it's me again, it's not Millie, that I realized that I'm only allowed to post 5 minutes of the official audiobook on my website for promotional purposes. I thought, well, I didn't check it now. I read a bunch more. And then I went back and I looked and I was like, what does it say in my contract? And I can post 5 minutes of the official audiobook on my website for promotional purposes. Okay, cool. This isn't the official audiobook. It's just me reading it. But I don't know. I don't want to screw things up contract-wise. This is not self-published stuff. There's legal things involved. So that was 5 minutes of Mighty Millie Novak. That is what you're going to get from me officially reading the book. To tell you just a little bit more about it, no spoil. I don't know how much to tell you. I don't know. It's a lot of fun. It is the main theme that comes up a lot from people reading it was like, it was so cringy to read very, very accurate depictions of terrible decisions that high schoolers make, that it felt very authentically embarrassing, that there's like parts read with between their fingers and stuff like that. Millie gets a crush on an older girl who's part of the league, who's like one of the best blockers and really, really cool, and does a lot of increasingly stupid things to get the older girl's attention. And in the meantime, she's dealing with her parents' divorce. Her older brother has gone away to college. And Millie is, really a mess. She has been homeschooled since 6th grade. She was bullied up until then. And now she got pneumonia in 6th grade. And after that, she just started doing online school. Now she's 15, almost 16 in her sophomore year of high school. And she's now... It's just her and her mom in the house. Her and her mom don't get along. She misses her brother really bad because he was basically her only social outlet. And so Derby is sort of this chance to reinvent herself and try to like have friends and be normal and get a girlfriend in her view of things. And so it's about her first season on the team. I don't think I said, oh, no spoilers, but you find out at the end of the first chapter that she does end up making the team, although under questionable circumstances. So yeah, it's a coming of age novel with some rom-com elements and some family stuff, friend stuff, romantic stuff. I think it's fun. I think it's I'm proud of it. So you know what you should do is buy it for yourself or someone else, Because, you came here for an X-Files podcast, and if you love X-Files, you definitely love YA novels about roller derby? That's probably true, right? I don't know. But you like me. Otherwise, you would have turned the podcast off by now. I'm not going to look at the stats to find out how many of you did that. Anyway, we're going to be back next week. Helen will be talking about our next episode, which is that one with the jaguar spirit, and I think a whole lot of things that Helen, as an anthropologist, is going to have to complain about and set us right about. So enjoy some more X-Files stuff next week, and in the meantime, go buy my damn book. Bye. Psych, not buy. I forgot I should tell you, my author website is elizabeth-holden.com. That is ELIZABETH-HOLDEN.com. And you can learn more about my book there and about, I don't know, where to buy it, although, like I said, kind of anywhere. Anyway, elizabeth-holden.com. That's all.